What is up, clean freaks and filthy friends alike? Filthy Dan coming at you for another film discussion, and today we're going to be taking a look at Would You Rather. This premiered in 2012 at Screamfest, receiving a wider release in 2013. Would You Rather was directed by David Guy Levy, stars Brittany Snow, Jeffrey Combs, and quite a few other people, including but not limited to the dad from Home Alone, which is John Hurd, and Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. That was quite a delight to see. We also get a nice porn star, ex-porn star in here too, so there's some filth right off the bat there. But now this film is about a young woman named Iris. Kind of funny when you think about it and looking at the poster. But she's got a brother who has leukemia, and they cannot afford treatment to help him. So she's given this deal where if she can go participate in a parlor game and she happens to win, she will receive the money necessary to afford her brother's treatment. So sounds easy enough. Sure, there might be a catch, but whatever. It's fucking worth trying, ain't it? Anyway, she goes, and you see a bunch of other people there. And as the film progresses, we kind of get an idea what everybody is there for. We see that the dad from Home Alone is, he was an ex-alcoholic. Ricky from Trailer Park Boys is shown to have been an obsessive gambler. And there's an ex-soldier too, and we don't get too much on everybody's backstory. We get just enough to kind of understand that some of the challenges presented to them are pretty screwed up. One example being that John Hurd has to, would you rather do, I can't remember what the other thing was, but one such thing he had to do was drink a glass of wine. Being a reformed alcoholic, it's like, oh dude, that's fucked up. But no, Jeffrey Combs plays the rich guy hosting this little shindig, and the game starts as it normally would, stupid, hypothetical, but he's bringing it to a whole new level where whatever you pick, would you rather pick, essentially you have to do that. There's no one or two ways about it. It's like if you pick option A or option B, you must deliver or you will be eliminated from the game, which we do not want that. But we as the audience do want to see some eliminations because that is where we get our sweet, sweet kills. And we find that he is pretty sadistic as the film goes along. As I said, one of the challenges he presents to John Hurd is that you got to drink. And there's a sinister sense of humor to the film. I don't know if I'm just really fucked up and found some of this laughable. I mean, because of course, making the reformed alcoholic drink a little bit, that's super fucked up. But you have this lady she's handicapped, paralyzed from the waist down. And Ricky from Trailer Park Boys has to stab her in the leg. It's like, you got to stab someone in the leg. It's like, okay. And so he does, just stabs her right in the leg. Like, come on, you won't be able to feel it. And I don't know, I just fucking laughed out loud the first time I saw it because she gets stabbed in the leg and she's just like sitting there all normal, casual. Unbeknownst to her, she's bleeding to death. So it was funny for whatever fucked up reason. But you see them running through a variety of fucked up levels of the game. One where they have to shock each other. The ex-porn star girl, Sasha Grey, she is quick to shock anyone and do whatever she has to win. And honestly, I applaud her for that because she is the most reasonable person in this game. Everyone else is like, no, we're going to do some teamwork here. No. In this game, it is established pretty quick that teamwork will only hold you back. You got to fucking fight your own battle to win this game. Hosted by the Reanimator himself. And it's pretty brutal again throughout. I mean, you have a moment where this guy has to keep getting whipped with, I can't remember what it is. It's like a bamboo stick or something. And eventually he's whipped to the point of death. Like he's just run his clock on that. And eventually the people there, Iris included, I almost forget she's the main character, but they all decide, fuck this, let's try to make a run for it. That doesn't work. One of the guys gets shot dead, and she runs off, almost gets raped by Jeffrey Combs' son. She stabs him, and he kind of has to go off to his room and gets in trouble, whatever. And, you know, it's at that point where they try to run away, and some of them are injured and or die in the process, where you realize, okay, so we've already had a couple people die. What makes you think it's a good idea to try and run away? Of course, you see, no, it's as bad an idea as it could possibly be. We also get this little side plot where the guy who suggested to her to play the game had played the game previously. He winds up having to. He doesn't have to, but he decides, fuck, I can't let her do this. So he tries to go stop the game. Of course, he gets fucking killed for trying to stop it. It's almost like this game must be played. But there is that little side plot, which kind of, I don't know, I felt it kind of drags. It's cool to see that there's a character who has a moral dilemma going on throughout the film. That I could take or leave. I really like the part, though, when they get the envelopes and they have a big old barrel that's filled with water, and the whole object there is, would you rather take the gamble and have to perform whatever the task in the envelope is, or would you rather sit in that barrel? I think it's like 2 minutes or whatever the challenge was. And of course, our main girl doesn't want to take the gamble, and she eventually luckily holds out in the water, thinking about her brother, who is the whole reason that she is there, to help him get the treatment he needs. So she sustains. Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, he's like, as the gambler, he's like, no, because you think I'm going to pick one or the other option. I'm taking the card. And his challenge is said to be a firecracker in his hand has to go off. According to Jeffrey Combs, a firecracker is a quarter stick of dynamite. And he doesn't want to do that, so of course he's held at gunpoint. So they wind up having to tape the stick of dynamite to his hand. Yeah, the small chance of that being a dud, it was a nice little suspenseful sequence. But yeah, it's essentially really just a really macabre game of Would You Rather throughout the whole course of the movie. And eventually we get to the point where our final girl, Iris, is the last surviving player, as it were. And she, in the last moment, the last guy who's there with her, he's getting ready to tell her why he's there. He's like, hey, I care about somebody too. And she's like, you know what? Fuck this. The porn star girl was right. If I want to win this game, I got to make sure that I win it for me. So she just fucking takes the option that is eliminating him. And that was a pretty cool ending. I was like, fuck yes, finally. There's some sensible thinking from our main character here. So that was pretty cool there. And Jeffrey Combs is like, oh, awesome, you win. We've already got a donor secured for your brother. No further questions. We'll send you home. And she gets home. She's covered in blood, fucking stressed, takes a shower, sleeps it off. Next morning, goes in to wake up her brother to let him know that, hey, everything's going to be okay. And the holy shit part of this movie, skip ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want this to be spoiled. She finds her brother dead. He has overdosed on his medication, suicide overdose. It's fucking brutal, but I couldn't help but feel like this movie has taken that extra plunge, that it gives that really um sinister, not sinister, cynical. That cynical ending that I fucking love movies for doing. It says, you know what? You want a happy ending? Well, fuck you. You're not getting it. The whole reason behind this movie is going to be shown as having been, I don't want to say a wasted effort, but a sort of in vain type of effort. Like, you know what? There's going to be no reward for the characters here. This guy's dead, and you're going to be happy with it. I thought it was pretty cool how they went and did that. They actually had the balls to make our final girl Iris's whole struggle it was just a null and void effort. And I applauded the movie for that. It was fucking amazing. Anyway, let's go into what I did like. I did like the whole idea of how are you going to take this party game and turn it into a horror movie. That's something I've noticed they've been doing lately, taking just the surface level of these different games that you play as a kid, and they're like, you know what, let's spin that into a horror movie. And I think they did really well with that here. It was very well executed, and I don't know if this was the one that started the whole trend of that, but I'm really satisfied with the way they did that. It was almost like it reminded me of Clue in a way, Clue from 1985 with Tim Curry, where some of the characters are introducing themselves and why they're there. You kind of get a little bit of that in here. Of course, this is much darker, of course, because it's a horror movie. I really liked the characters too, even though you don't get to know a whole lot about them. And I think part of why some of the characters are so likable enough is really just the actors playing them. Because, of course, you get Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. I fucking love that show. It's nice to see Ricky out of the trailer park. In my headcanon, that's him just trying to, come on, Lucy, I'm just trying to get us out of this fucking trailer park. Like, he's been all in my ass lately. Just trying to make a better life for him, Trinity and Lucy, Of course, Home Alone's dad in here. It's always pretty fun. I guess this was after his little stint in The Sopranos, so it's a whole mid issue there, whatever. But no, just some of the characters are so fun to see. Of course, Jeffrey Combs. It's fun to see him in here. As soon as I saw his name in the credits, I'm like, you know what? This movie can be shit. I don't care. The Reanimator is in here, so it's worth watching just for that, by my logic. And I got to thank Shannon for introducing me to this one, because I probably wouldn't have watched it otherwise. And I'm glad I did. I did like there was like a dark kind of atmosphere to it. The way it was filmed, it looks really kind of a grittiness to it. It was like trying to describe the color palette. It was pretty dim. Like there were some bright colors, but they were dimmed out a little bit. And the way they went about doing that, I thought was pretty clever. As far as dislikes, just some of the underdevelopment of some of the characters. I know I said the characters were pretty cool with how they were underdeveloped, but that one I think was kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot I disliked about this movie now that I think about it. It does really well at just getting the story going and getting you into it and getting you out. It's very well paced. I think it could have gone on a little longer, but I'm not going to complain. The movie was, again, it sets it up, gets you into the action, says, you know what, here's your ending, now get the fuck on. And you're left feeling a little helpless at the end of it, which I thought was pretty cool. I love when a movie can make you feel that way. Anyway, let's move on to the filthy features. As always, we start with favorite kill, and they were all pretty interesting in here, but I got to go with my boy Ricky. Just the whole getting his hand taped up with a quarter stick of dynamite, and he's holding it away from his torso, he's holding it away from his body, and blows off his hand, and he dies of a heart attack. And normally I would be like, no, that kill is fucking stupid. But it was so hilarious because, you also get that nice bit of suspense. As soon as the fuse runs out, you get a couple seconds where it's like, oh, maybe it's a dud. And then boom. And he kind of looks at it and just falls to the floor. And he's dead in the next 5 seconds. It was hilarious and suspenseful at the same time. And it made me sad as a Trailer Park Boys fan, seeing Ricky have to go like that. As far as smutty sightings go, there's not really anything to talk about here. I guess we do have Sasha Grey's appearance in here, so there is at least that. So thank you. Anyway, in closing, Would You Rather was a fun ass movie for sure. It was a nice suspenseful film. It was definitely a fun horror film. It had its moments of pure dread. Sure, it was underdeveloped in the character department just a little bit, but not in a negative kind of way. It does really great at setting up what the story is. It gets you in, it gets you out, and it gives you some eye candy throughout as far as a great looking couple of women to look at, and you get some nice gore to boot. Not excessive or anything, but just enough to keep that appetite satisfied, It's on Netflix last I checked, so definitely go check it out there. If you want to get it on DVD or Blu-ray, I would definitely say yes, go ahead and get it. It's one that's definitely worth checking out. It was a lot of fun. I'm sure you would have a lot of fun. As always, thank you all for watching. Please be sure to like and share this video, and if you have not already, stab the fuck out of that subscribe button. Do not be a shitter. And if you're feeling extra filthy, go ahead and let me know what you guys think down below of Would You Rather. Speaking of which, would you rather watch this movie or have to live out one night of playing this game with the sadistic Jeff Combs? Let me know what you all think. As always, stay filthy.